What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to another FPL video. Today I'm going to be going through the top 5 picks for game week 31 for the FPL season 2020-2021. My name is Mo and this is my channel FPL INKLING. Before we get started, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe now and join the family. I've almost reached 200 subscribers and I want to hit 500 before the end of the season to win the bet against my mate and win a PS5. Also, if you like the content that you see, hit the like icon, and also if you want to see the latest videos that I release and you want the notifications, hit the notifications bell icon and see my latest content. Now what we're going to do is, before I begin, I'm going to go through the top 5 picks for myself, which I think people or managers will be looking at in terms of bringing in for game week 31. It might not be for the fixtures based around this week. However, it might be something which is building up for kind of a fixture swing if you're playing a wild card. So there's going to be a good pick of players that I'm going to be highlighting and potential others from the same team if you're going to look to be going for a wild card in game week 31, 32 or 33 once the League Cup final is done. So let's start with my first pick of game week 31. And my first pick for game week 31 is, let's have a look on my watch list. Perfect. Number 1 I'm picking is Diogo Jotter. Now, Diogo Jotter is 11%. The only risk with Jotter is the fact that there's a risk of rotation with Firmino. But with Firmino, I mean, we've seen him come on sub appearances. Even when he comes on, he's an impact player. He started against Real Madrid in this midweek for the Champions League. I guess that's to do with the form and the kind of the backing he has from Klopp after returning from injury. He's only got 69 points so far this season. That's because it's been an injury hit season for Jotter, and he's only 6.8 mil. So I think he's at the moment a really good differential aspect because he's not owned by too many managers. So if you stock up him as like a 5th midfielder and you don't fear him being rotated, it's good to have him in your squad. And let's go through some analysis since his return. So he returned back to the Liverpool squad 4 game weeks ago. He started off at 28 minutes. 90 minutes, 81 minutes, 29 minutes. So you can see he's only played 190 minutes since then. And he's got 22 points with 3 goals in that period, 2 of them coming against Arsenal. And I think, he really changed the whole concept or the flow of the game against Arsenal. Arsenal weren't great by any stretch of the imagination, but I believe that Jotter had that impact where he was able to free up players like Mane, Salah, other players on the pitch who can actually benefit from his kind of runs. Even Trent Alexander was able to kind of lob the ball over the top for him to take full advantage. I don't understand how Arsenal have allowed players with the height of Jotter and Sterling to score headers past them. It's beyond me. But, to be fair, I think looking at Jotter, I think, he's got some really good fixture swings which are going to turn from here. So this game week's going to be Aston Villa, followed by Leeds in game week 32. And then the only game that they actually have, which is kind of difficulty rating of red, for the end of the season, is Manchester United in game week 34, which they're playing at Old Trafford. But barring that, there's a sea of green. And I don't see a reason why he can't be part of that, because I think that, with the kind of competitions and the goals and the games they've got coming up, I think he's going to be a hot asset to own for FPL. For you guys to actually, see that he'll be playing week in, week out to get the goals in. And obviously linking up with Salah and Mane will go a long, long way for Diogo Jotter. So for me, he is my first choice for the top 5 pick as number 1 for game week 31. At number 2, I've got Pedro Neto from Wolves. He's 5.7 mil, 7.4% in terms of ownership by teams. He had a really good game against West Ham now. I know West Ham won the game eventually 3-2, but he had a real good game, a good impact. He had an assist, which he set up for one of the goals for West Ham. But let's have a look at his last 5 game weeks. So he's got 9 plus 7, 16 points with 2 assists. So he has, in terms of not having their first choice striker of Jimenez, I think if you look at the fixtures they have coming up and the kind of impact he's had on games, I think the next 4 out of 5 games are all green. So they've got Fulham, Sheffield, Burnley and West Brom away. Now, if you're looking to play a wild card in these couple of game weeks, then I think, maybe doubling up or even tripling up on Wolves might not be a bad idea. For example, you could go for the goalkeeper, Patricio, followed by Cody, their captain, and then Neto, or you could go Dendoncker, Neves. There's other options, or even Silva up front. So you can have a look to see who you want to bring in. Personally, for me, Neto will be my first choice in terms of pick-wise from Wolves. But if you're looking to play a wild card, then, doubling up or tripling up on Wolves for at least next 4 game weeks will be good. Because they play in every single game week and they don't miss any fixtures. And they don't have, fixtures piled up in terms of other competitions as well. So that will be my second choice in terms of a player I'd bring in. I think he's going to be, the focal point of, the attack for Wolves as well. So why not keep him in your mind for making any transfers, especially wildcard as well. Bearing in, if you can see the number of greens that they got in terms of fixtures, I think they're really good fixtures for them. And, he could get a good point haul in terms of setting up returns for goals and scoring himself as well. At number 3, I've picked Jesse Lingard. Now, I've tried to avoid him as much as I could, but it's just impossible to. He's been absolutely phenomenal on the either side of the international break since he's been at West Ham. His price has gone up from 6 mil to 6.3 mil, 68 points he's got in total, and he's owned by nearly 19% of FPL managers. So let's have a look what he's done, since he's joined. He's got, you can see, 6 goals and 4 assists, so he's always been there or thereabouts to, really take advantage of the attacking play West Ham are offering. Now, they've moved into the top 4, and that's no fluke. We're in game week 30, guys, so it's not a fluke that West Ham are in the top 4. And I think, one of the main reasons since joining in January, Lingard has played a huge part of making sure that can happen. If you look in terms of double game week points, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 double digit points out of the game weeks he's been there since game week 22, which is 8 game weeks. So every 2 games that he plays for West Ham, FPL-wise, he's getting double-digit scores. Now, that's phenomenal. If you can keep that for the rest of the season, I think I've done a really good transfer for the amount I've paid for him. So, he's got 3, 9, 11 bonus points already in this games that he's played for West Ham. So Lingard is going to be a good shout. He's actually really changed the dynamic of West Ham. He's linking up really well with Bowen, Souček, Antonio, Kofal, Cresswell. They're all gelling really, really well. And if we have a look at their fixtures, there's a few reds, but there's a sea of green near the end of the season. So Leicester, yes, a tough game, but West Ham are playing well. Can he be at the end of one of the goals? Probably. Newcastle away is going to be a really good game for West Ham. Might get a couple of returns there because defensively Newcastle are shocking. Yes, I know they got 2-2 against Spurs this week, but for me, I still have concerns around them staying up. And in terms of leaking goals, they are very, very susceptible and weak at the back. Then they've got Chelsea at home, which I think will be a cracking game. It's rated as 4, but I think it'll be a good game because it's going to be the top 4 kind of fight. And then they've got Burnley, Everton, and then followed by Brighton, West Brom, and Southampton. So there's plenty of greens for him to really take advantage of and allow West Ham to actually really take advantage of having him this season and allowing them to fight for the top 4 position. Am I going to get him in? I'm definitely going to get him into my squad. And if you're looking to have a wild card setup, I might not consider bringing in 3 West Ham players right now, but maybe around, after the Chelsea game, so around the Burnley game, around 34 onwards, if you're looking to play a wild card then maybe tripling up on West Ham might be a good shout. So you might have a Lingard, Antonio, and Cresswell, or you might have Fabianski, Kofal potentially, Souček. There's plenty of players that you can consider. Bowen. But I think Lingard will be one of those. If you are looking to double or triple up, he's probably going to be one of those players that will be in your squad for sure. At number 4, I've chosen Sadio Mane. So he's owned by 4.9% of managers. He's a really good differential option, guys, because I know Liverpool are moving towards a really good fixture swing from this weekend onwards. But for me, he's got 126 points this season, 11.8 in price. Yes, he's quite expensive, but he's a luxury or a premium player. And in terms of differential aspects, he's not owned by as many players who own De Bruyne, Salah, Bruno Fernandes, Son. So there are options to really go big if he can pull it off. So in the last, you can see 5 game weeks, he's got 3 assists and 2 goals. So he's starting to pick up his form again. And that's what makes Mane so much more. Sorry, he's got 2 assists. Sorry, that was yellow cards I think I was looking at. No, clean sheets, apologies. So I got carried away there. He's got 2 assists in the last 5 game weeks. So you can see, he's really picked up in terms of his returns. He's coming into form at the right time. Is it really time for him to go big? Because look, if you look at his last 3 seasons, Actually, ever since he's been in the Premier League, he's always hit double digit in terms of goals. He's on 7 already, so I think he'll definitely get to another double digit haul this season. I think with the fixture swing coming up, I think maybe another 5 goals potentially, and a couple of assists. So there's a really good chance for him to really go big. And you know, Mane, when he does go big, he scored like the fastest hat trick in the Premier League, I think, when he used to play at Southampton. So there is always a chance of him going big and getting you a good return. So that's why I'm looking quite closely at him. Is it going to be him or Salah that I get in? Salah's a bit more expensive, but I think the benefit of having Salah as your kind of like first priority choice is the fact that he takes penalties. So if Liverpool do get any penalties, he's going to be obviously more advantageous in terms of getting returns from there. But if you're looking to triple up on wildcard, now for me, this is what I'm looking at the moment. I was tripled up on Man City due to the fixtures, double game weeks, but now with them having the League Cup final, I might move away from having, you know, I've got a triple. I might even go down to 2, 1. I might even go down to 0 Man City players. Now that might sound like, you know, outrageous as much as it sounds, but do you know what? Look at these fixtures for Liverpool. There is no reason why I can't triple up on Liverpool to maximise my return. Yep. City players will get returns. Yep, there's a risk of rotation, but with Liverpool, you know, kind of like their core squad, due to injuries, is pretty much going to be the same. And Mane's going to be one of those players who's going to be playing week in, week out. Yes, he might be substituted, but hey, that's part of the game. But I think, you know, in terms of having a differential aspect for a premium player, Mane will be a really good shout. And at number 5, I brought in Achoo. Now, he had a bit of a quiet game against Man City, which I'm not surprised about because Man City are the best team in the league and they will be winning the Premier League itself. But he's done really well over the last couple of game weeks. You know, he's got 1, 2, 5 goals over the last 5 games. And, you know, he's gone big against, you know, double-digit scores against, Sheffield United. He's got Brighton and Burnley with 9 points each. So, you know, he's got Maddison back in the squad now. Harvey Barnes should be coming in soon. Rodgers has gone for like a different approach up front with 2 strikers. They're kind of feeding off each other in terms of Vardy and Iheanacho. So I think, you know, he's only 5.8 mil, owned by 4.5%. So, you know, if you are looking to have like that third striker option, he's someone you can consider. In terms of a wild card, we can have a look at some of the fixture swings for them. Yes, they've got West Ham. It's kind of like a 4. I don't think it's a 4 for Leicester. I think that's going to be more of a 3. So they're going to cancel each other out pretty well. Any other season, I definitely would have said this like, you know, maybe a 2 or a 3. Most difficult will be 3 rating for a West Ham game for Leicester. But you know, it's going to be a good game. They're away. But after that, look at the fixtures that they do have. They've got West Brom, Crystal Palace, Southampton, Newcastle. So, hey, you know, Vardy hasn't been in the best of form since the start of the new year. Could be injury, a lot of things. But, you know, Iheanacho might be, you know, someone who can really take advantage. He's only owned by 4.5%, so you've got a differential value here. And if you're going to play him as a third striker, you know, based on the fixture swings and stuff, that's something that you can consider. Looking at these fixtures that I've just gone through here, until they reach Manchester United in game week 36, which might become like a curtain raiser for second and third, or maybe even 4th position like last year that we had on the final day. So it's going to be a really good game then. I mean, maybe having like, you know, Iheanacho, Maddison, you know, you've got Tielemans, Fofana, you know, there's some really good, Castagna, there's some really good players, you know, Schmeichel from Leicester that we can really consider. So Iheanacho for me is someone that I picked out because I think, you know, he's someone who's gone under the radar and he's done really, really well recently. He's picked up some really good points for Leicester and he's in form and there's no reason why he can't kind of like take that advantage further and kind of give you that kind of cutting edge in terms of, you know, really getting the big points and kind of giving you that green arrow to go up in your leagues or any kind of mini leagues that you're part of. And at the end of the day, we all want to be the best manager in FPL. So have a look at this player in terms of Iheanacho as a forward. Like if you've got Bamford or Kane as your 2 strikers and you want him as a third option, it's someone to consider. Or if you've got, you know, 2 premium options like Kane, Cavani, Firmino. You know, these are kind of like the most premium kind of forwards as a combination. And then you want to bring in someone with a bit more like value. He could be your third striker. And depending on what fixtures they have and how kind of like, you know, difficulty rating they are, and if you want to play like a 4-3-3 or a 3-4-3 or a 5-2-3, it depends on what formation you want to play. He might be a good part to have as a third choice striker. So that's it from me, guys. That is the top 5 picks for this week. I've also given you kind of like some wild card Hints as well if you're looking to double up, triple up, and what teams to move away from in terms of, if you are going to play a wild card, what teams you don't want to kind of stack up on in terms of the fixture difficulty, and what teams you want to take advantage of in terms of the difficulties as well. So I think I'll highlight definitely Wolves, Liverpool, Leicester, Arsenal. I haven't discussed any Arsenal players in here, but the fixtures look great. But do Arsenal look great? I'm not too sure. But it'll be worth seeing how they progress as the weeks go by. Is Arteta going to stay in his job or not? It's yet to be seen. But this is, for me, Game Week 31's kind of like top 5 picks. Let me know what you guys think. Are these the players that you guys are looking at as well in terms of your kind of like short list in terms of players you want to bring in? Are these guys part of your wildcard transfers for this week or the week after? Or maybe Game Week 35 or 36 when there might be another double game week. Let me know what you think. Are these the players you're looking at? Are the other players you're looking at the moment that you may think have a better chance or better return possibility? Let me know. And let me know what your plans are for Game Week 31. If you've liked this video, hit the like icon. Subscribe to FPL Inkling if you want to be part of this channel. Help me get to 500 subscribers to win that bet. And hit the notification icon if you want the latest notifications for videos being released. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll see you guys again with the team selection for Game Week 31. I'll let you know any transfers that I have made or I'm looking to make. I'll see you guys soon.